There's something almost magical about hair. Without saying a single word, it tells a story about who you are, how you feel, and yes, how old you appear to others. The truth is, our hairstyles hold subtle messages, some flattering and some quietly aging us without our even realizing it. But the beautiful part is that these messages can be rewritten with small, thoughtful updates that honor who you are today. So settle in, take a comfortable breath, and let's explore what your hairstyle might be communicating, and the gentle, graceful fixes that can instantly refresh your look. Let's begin with the message 1. I've been wearing this same look for decades. There's something deeply comforting about a familiar hairstyle. It's like the dependable friend who's been with you through every chapter of life. You know how it behaves, how to manage it, and what it takes to make it presentable. But just like a beloved sweater that eventually loses its shape, a hairstyle that stayed exactly the same for decades can start sending a message you never intended. That you're holding on to the past rather than embracing who you are right now. And this isn't about trends or chasing youth. It's about how your natural features evolve over time. As we move through our 50s, 60s, and beyond, the structure of the face shifts. Cheekbones soften, the jawline becomes gentler, and skin tone changes subtly. A hairstyle that once balanced your features perfectly may now emphasize areas you'd rather soften. For example, a cut with the same shape or part you wore in your 30s can unintentionally make the face look longer, heavier, or more tired. At the same time, the hair itself changes. It becomes finer, drier, sometimes more fragile. What used to create bounce and fullness may now fall flat, losing that youthful movement. A style that relies on old texture and thickness simply can't perform the same way anymore. And that's perfectly natural. The fix doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need a makeover or a drastic chop. What makes the biggest difference is a gentle evolution. Softening the perimeter, updating the layers, adding subtle movement around the cheeks or jawline. Even shifting the part just a few millimeters can breathe new life into your expression. Think of it less as changing your style, and more as allowing it to grow up with you. A great hairstylist isn't trying to reinvent who you are. They're helping your hair complement the beautiful person you are right now. And when you finally allow those small updates, something surprisingly lovely happens. Your face lifts. Your energy brightens. People notice, but they can't quite put their finger on what changed. They just know you look refreshed. Your hairstyle should reflect your journey, not freeze you in time. Now moving on to the message 2. My hair is weighing me down. Length can be absolutely beautiful at any age. Truly, there is no rule saying women over 60 must cut their hair short. That outdated idea has long been disproven. But what is true is that long hair behaves differently as we age. And sometimes, without meaning to, it sends a message of heaviness that subtly ages the face. As hair changes over the years, it naturally loses density and volume. Even if you still have long, healthy strands, the weight of that length can pull everything downward. Instead of framing the face with softness, it starts dragging the features. You may notice your ends look thin or stringy. You may find that your hair falls flat on top, no matter how much you fluff or style it. Or maybe, an hour after you've finished styling, everything deflates again. These are signs that it's not the length that's the issue, it's the weight and lack of shape. The solution doesn't require shortening your hair dramatically. It's really about giving the hair its lift back. Strategic layering can raise the cheekbones visually, creating that subtle upward movement that feels youthful and refreshing. Removing bulk in the right places can restore breathability and softness. Light texturizing around the face adds movement that instantly brightens your entire expression. Even bringing the length up just 2 or 3 inches can completely change how full, alive, and healthy your hair appears. Think of your hair like fabric. Heavy fabric drags downward, lighter fabric floats. Your hair can float too, with the right cut. And one more important point. Movement equals youthfulness. When your hair sways lightly, catches the light, or frames your face gently, it brings energy to your overall presence. If your hair currently hangs in one long, dense shape, it's probably sending a message you didn't intend. You don't have to lose your length. You just need to let it breathe again. Next, let's talk about the message 3. My hair color doesn't match my skin anymore. Color is one of the strongest age indicators, sometimes even more than the cut itself. As we age, our skin gradually loses contrast and natural brightness. That means hair colors that once brought out your eyes or warmed your complexion may now do the opposite. A shade that used to flatter can suddenly make the skin look washed out, dull, or shadowed. For instance, cool ash tones can drain the complexion if your skin has softened in warmth. On the other hand, colors that are too light or too golden may turn brassy, making the hair look dry or outdated. Even grays behave differently depending on how they're maintained. Gray hair isn't aging. Unblended or uneven gray can be. The issue is not the shade itself but the harmony between your hair color and your skin's undertones. The good news is that the fix is rarely extreme. Tiny tweaks often make the biggest difference. Adding a whisper of warmth around the face can bring instant radiance. Subtle highlights or lowlights can build dimension and prevent the flat look that ages the hair. Choosing a tone that complements your natural undertone, warm, cool, or neutral, brings the whole face back to life. Healthy color also reflects light. When your hair enhances your skin rather than competing with it, your features appear smoother, brighter, and more awake. People may not know what changed, they just know you look healthier. Your hair color should feel like it belongs to this season of your life, not the one from 20 years ago. And when color and skin tone work together beautifully, your hair sends a very clear message. You're glowing. Okay. As we continue, let's take a look at the message for my hairstyle is too stiff. There's a quiet shift that happens as we move through life. We start to crave structure, control, predictability, and sometimes, without noticing, that desire shows up in our hair. We reach for the heavy hairsprays, the tight curls, the overly perfect blowouts because they feel reliable. They stay put, they don't move, and they give us a sense of order. But while stiffness might feel secure, it can unintentionally age your entire appearance. Youthful hair, no matter the age of the woman, has one unmistakable quality: movement. It flows gently, bends softly, and catches the light in natural ways. When the hair becomes rigid, something subtle shifts. The face looks more severe. Lines appear more defined. The overall expression loses warmth. Even if the cut is modern and the color is flattering, stiffness alone can add a decade. Think about overly set curls that never change shape. They may look polished, but they lack the softness that makes hair feel alive. Or hairstyles that don't move when you turn your head. Instead of lifting your features, they create a frame that feels fixed, almost mask-like. And often, this stiffness comes from old habits, products you've used for years, styling techniques that once worked beautifully, or tools that create too much tension in the hair. The fix is gentle and simple. It starts with letting your hair breathe. Instead of heavy sprays, choose flexible ones that allow your hair to move with you. Instead of tight curls, go for loose, airy waves that fall naturally. Even something as small as using your fingers instead of a brush to break up curls can transform the entire look. Modern products are designed to create natural texture without crunchiness. Lightweight mousses, softening creams, and light hold sprays give you control without sacrificing softness. They help your hair move the way real hair is meant to move. Another helpful shift is embracing imperfection. A few flyaways, a little bend at the ends, a touch of natural volume. These small elements add personality and youthfulness to your style. They make the hair look lived in, not forced. When you allow your hairstyle to reflect ease instead of rigidity, something beautiful happens. Your whole presence softens. Your features look brighter. The energy around your face becomes more open and inviting. And perhaps most importantly, you feel more like yourself, free, comfortable, and naturally elegant. Number 5. Another message worth exploring is, I'm hiding behind my hair. This message is more common than many people realize. Sometimes, without intentionally doing so, we allow our hair to act like a shield. We keep it long to cover the sides of the face. We keep the bangs heavy to hide forehead lines. We maintain the same face framing pieces for years because they feel safe. These choices often come from a place of wanting comfort. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when hair becomes a hiding place, it can ironically draw more attention to the very areas we're trying to soften. Heavy hair around the face creates shadows. Those shadows can make the complexion appear duller, the cheeks heavier, and the jawline less defined. Instead of creating a youthful softness, the hair begins to overpower the features, closing the face in rather than opening it. It sends a message of withdrawal, of pulling back instead of stepping forward. But the truth is this: the most youthful, elegant looks come from revealing, not hiding, your natural beauty. That doesn't mean exposing everything or losing the comfort of coverage. It simply means shifting from hiding to gentle framing. Soft face framing layers that sweep backward rather than inward can transform your entire expression. They lift rather than weigh down. They brighten instead of shadow. A light, wispy fringe can soften lines without the heaviness of thick bangs. Strategic shaping around the jawline can bring back the definition you thought was lost. The goal isn't to show everything, it's to let your features breathe again. Often, the moment a woman stops hiding behind her hair, her whole presence changes. Her eyes stand out more. Her smile becomes the focal point. Her expression lifts. People see her, not just her hairstyle. And the most important part? You feel the shift too. When you stop using your hair as a shield, you begin interacting with the world in a more open, confident way. Your hair becomes a companion instead of a curtain. You deserve a style that supports you, not one that hides you. Now let's explore the message 6. My routine hasn't changed in years. This message might be the sneakiest of all, because it often comes from habit rather than intention. Many of us continue using the same products, the same tools, and the same styling techniques we relied on decades ago. They worked then, so why wouldn't they work now? But hair evolves. Texture changes. Density shifts. Even the way hair responds to heat or moisture changes over time. And when the routine stays the same while the hair changes, the result can look outdated without you ever understanding why. Maybe you're still using a round brush that's too large or too small for your current texture. Maybe you're using a blow dryer that creates too much frizz. Perhaps you're applying products meant for thicker hair, when yours has become finer with age. Or maybe you're holding on to styling steps that once created volume but now actually flatten the hair. A routine that worked beautifully at 40 may be working against you at 60. The most refreshing changes often come from updating small things. Using a lighter mousse instead of a heavy cream. Switching from high heat to medium heat to preserve softness. Updating your tools. Modern styling tools are gentler, faster, and far better for aging hair. Even your washing routine may need a shift. Many women find that washing less frequently actually gives the hair more volume and shine. Others discover that hydrating shampoos and conditioners bring back the softness they thought was gone forever. And don't forget technique. A simple adjustment like lifting sections at the roots while blow drying can create a natural lift that brightens the entire face. Letting the hair cool in shape before brushing it out can add lasting volume without stiffness. When your routine evolves with your hair, everything becomes easier. Your style lasts longer. Your hair looks healthier. You look fresher, lighter, and more effortlessly put together. Your hair tells a story, and your routine shapes that story every day. When your routine supports the needs of your hair right now, it sends one beautiful message. You're evolving with grace. Number 7. Another style worth discussing is, I'm not styling for my hair's changing texture. One of the most overlooked messages our hair sends is connected to texture. How it moves, how it reacts to moisture, and how it naturally falls against the face. Over time, hair texture shifts in ways we don't always expect. Straight hair may become wavier. Wavy hair may become softer and flatter. Coarse hair may lose some of its old strength. And fine hair may feel more delicate than ever before. These changes are completely natural. Yet many of us continue styling our hair as if it's still behaving the way it did years ago. When we ignore these shifts, our hairstyle can appear outdated, not because the cut itself is wrong, but because the styling no longer aligns with the hair's true personality. You may feel like your hair doesn't cooperate anymore, or that it refuses to hold volume or smoothness the way it once did. But it's not that your hair has changed for the worse, it's that it needs a different approach. For example, if your once straight hair now carries a soft wave, trying to force it into absolute smoothness can make it look stiff or lifeless. Instead, embracing the new wave pattern with a gentle curl cream or diffuser can add a youthful, natural bounce. Similarly, if your curls have loosened with age, switching to lighter products or changing your drying technique can bring back that airy definition without weighing the hair down. Another common challenge is picking the wrong tools for your new texture. Older flat irons or heavy blow dryers can feel too harsh on hair that has become more fragile. Modern, ceramic-based tools provide even heat that protects aging strands and preserves softness. Even switching to a vented brush can make a surprising difference in how healthy and full your hair appears. Texture also influences how your hair frames your face. When the texture isn't considered during your haircut, it can create shapes that collapse or puff in unflattering ways. A stylist who works with your texture instead of against it will cut your layers in a way that enhances natural movement rather than fighting it. The magic happens when your hairstyle, products, and tools all support your hair's current nature. Suddenly, what felt like unmanageable hair begins to flow again. What felt flat finds gentle volume. What felt frizzy becomes soft and touchable. Your texture isn't something to correct, it's something to work with. When you embrace the way your hair grows today, your whole look softens and modernizes. It sends a message of acceptance, ease, and authenticity, qualities that bring natural youthfulness to any style. And finally, let's talk about the message 8. I'm not using my natural volume to my advantage. Volume is one of the most powerful elements in how youthful, or how aging a hairstyle appears. But volume doesn't mean big hair or dramatic height. It means lift, movement, and openness around the face. Many women unknowingly work against their natural volume by flattening the top, smoothing everything too tightly, or brushing the hair in a way that removes its natural airiness. When hair lacks volume at the crown or around the temples, the face can appear heavier or more tired. A flat top can pull the eye downward. Too much smoothness can create a pressed look that unintentionally adds years. And yet, many women avoid volume because they fear it will make their hair look messy or unpolished. But modern volume is soft, subtle, and incredibly flattering. The first step is recognizing where your natural volume patterns exist. Some hair lifts beautifully at the root with minimal effort. Other hair gains volume through texture or layering. Some hair needs a bit of help with lightweight mousse or root lifting spray. The key is working with your natural volume instead of flattening it in an attempt to control the style. One of the most common mistakes is brushing the hair while it's cooling after styling. This collapses any shape you just created. Instead, allow the hair to cool in place, whether it's wrapped around a round brush or clipped gently at the crown. Cooling locks in lift and gives you volume that looks effortless rather than forced. Another mistake is parting the hair in the same spot for decades. Even shifting the part by half an inch can create instant lift and bring energy back to the eyes and cheeks. Volume doesn't have to be dramatic, just enough to give the face a natural upward movement. Layers also play a tremendous role. When layers are cut in a way that matches your density and texture, the hair lifts itself. But when everything is one heavy length, it drags downward and hides your features. A stylist who understands mature hair can create shaping that adds fullness exactly where you need it. And then there's product selection. Heavy serums, thick creams, and dense oils can weigh the hair down. Lighter formulas give you shine without sacrificing vitality. Using too much product at the roots is another common habit that flattens natural lift. When your hair has soft, natural volume, your expression brightens. Your features appear more defined. Your entire presence feels more open and youthful. Volume isn't about looking younger. It's about looking alive, vibrant, and fully present. Your hairstyle is more than just a cut or color. It's a quiet message about who you are today. By updating your shape, honoring your texture, refreshing your color, and evolving your routine, you give yourself a look that feels fresh, modern, and deeply authentic. These changes don't require drastic transformations, just gentle adjustments that bring your natural beauty forward. If this video helped you see your hair in a new light, I'm so glad you're here. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path.